While Manchester City stretched their case across months of legal manoeuvring, other clubs learned how fast football justice could move when money wasn't involved. Everton didn't get a saga, they got a summons, charged, heard, sentence, all in one afternoon, 3 hours. Nottingham Forest fared no better. Weeks, not months. No drawn-out appeals, no procedural chess. Now compare that with City. 150 charges, filed February 2023. The hearing didn't even begin until September 2024. That delay wasn't about complexity. It wasn't about evidence. It was about resources. On November 17, 2023, Everton was docked 10 points for breaching spending limits. The punishment was later reduced to 6, but the damage was permanent. Relegation battles aren't replayed. Lost points don't come back. In March 2024, Forest lost 4 points for overspending by £34.5 million. No delay, no theatre, just consequence. Meanwhile, City's legal machine did what it was built to do.
In the English game, hit with an unprecedented catalogue of charges by the Premier League that, in its most severe case, could see it.
Delay, appeal, buy time. Every appeal meant another season. Every delay meant more trophies. Every unresolved charge quietly changed what fair play even meant. Justice didn't disappear, it became tiered. While City dominated headlines, another club was exposing a different weakness in football's financial system. Chelsea didn't fight the rules. They followed them so precisely that the rules collapsed. When Todd Boehly bought Chelsea in May 2022, he inherited a rulebook built for a slower, simpler era, one that never planned for elite lawyers armed with spreadsheets. Chelsea spent £1.5 billion on players in under 2 years, every transfer approved, every deal legal. The trick was accounting. Traditionally, transfer fees are amortized over 5 years. A £100 million player costs £20 million per season on the books. Chelsea didn't use 5-year contracts, they used 8. Suddenly, that £100 million player cost £12.5 million a year under financial fair play calculations. Here's what that looked like. They bought Enzo Fernandez, £106 million over 8.5 years. Mikhailo Mudryk, £88 million over 8.5 years. Moises Caicedo, £115 million over 8 years. On paper, Chelsea looked restrained. In reality, they were spending at will. Then came the sister club transactions. Players moved between related clubs at suspicious valuations. Profits appeared instantly. Losses vanished. One case raised alarms across Europe. Ishii Samuel Smith, sold to Strasbourg, reacquired just 33 days later. Again, no rules broken, only expectations. Chelsea proved something fatal to the system. You didn't need to cheat. You just needed better lawyers. UEFA panicked. Within a year, emergency rules capped amortization at 5 years starting in 2025. The loophole closed, but the damage was permanent.
The Premier League has now received what they say legally binding assurances.
And they are delirious that they have new owners with big pockets coming in.
That the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will not control Newcastle United Football Club, but the consortium will, of course, which of 80% of that is a public investment fund.
Even Chelsea's creativity looked small next to the real architects of modern football power, nation-states. The model perfected in 2011, when Paris Saint-Germain was bought by Qatar Sports Investments. At the time, Qatar faced growing scrutiny, labour abuses, repression, and a World Cup clouded in controversy. Football became the shield. PSG became the billboard. Neymar, €220 million. Mbappe, €180 million plus record wages. This wasn't reckless spending, it was strategy. State money flowed through national airlines. Airlines sponsored clubs at inflated values. Clubs bought stars. Stars won trophies. Trophies buried criticism. Saudi Arabia accelerated the model in 2021 with the purchase of Newcastle United. The same year, mass executions barely registered in sports coverage. The UAE had already shown the path at Manchester City. This wasn't ownership, it was soft power. The Premier League now tells a simple story. In 2011, 3 clubs were controlled by billionaires or sovereign wealth funds. By 2025, that number was 11, more than half the league. The gap became unbridgeable. Manchester City earned €830 million revenue. Smaller clubs such as Crystal Palace earn between 150 to 170 million. No scouting network can match a five-fold advantage like this. This was no longer a competition, but structural inequality. Leicester City avoided sanction entirely through jurisdictional arguments most clubs could never afford to find. The lesson was clear. Rules don't stop abuse, they filter who gets punished. Justice in modern football isn't blind, it's billable by the hour. Manchester City's verdict may arrive in 2026. It doesn't matter. If they walk free, the message is final. Money beats regulation. If they're punished, it comes after years of dominance already banked, trophies untouched, history unchanged. Financial fair play didn't fail by mistake. It worked exactly as designed. It created the image of control while power was concentrated off-screen. Football once belonged to communities. Now it belongs to those whose sole goal is to earn profits. And the game didn't collapse overnight. It was dismantled, slowly, legally, and profitably. This isn't about Manchester City, or Chelsea, or PSG. It's about what happens when enforcement bows to wealth. When rules exist, but only for those who can't afford to resist them. The real question isn't whether football can be saved. It's whether anyone still benefits from saving it.
At a certain level in the Premier League, is there a way that this is equalised? Because at the moment, at least on a very superficial level, it feels quite unfair.
It does seem unfair, and I think if we go back to the history of cost control methods, initially it was called FFP, financial fair play, and so on, that was very much driven by the bigger clubs because they saw the potential changes in European football. First of all, you got Roman Abramovich acquiring Chelsea, then Sheikh Mansour acquiring Newcastle United. We've got the QSI Qatari Sports Institute acquiring Paris Saint-Germain. Of course, they've just won the Champions League. The established elite didn't like the idea of new money coming into football, so therefore they introduced these measures, claiming that that the aim was to improve the finances of European football, but actually it was to try to create a glass ceiling. Now, City, Chelsea and PSG got in before those rules changed. We now have clubs, and I think you're absolutely right to name the likes of Newcastle and Villa, and I think you could probably include Forest there as well, who are ambitious and aspirational, and they want to move to the next.